President Trump played a positive role in something that I want to talk about real quick. I know it's super rare nowadays he does anything good, but bear with me. I think this actually was a positive thing. So this is from The Hill. NATO's chief on Wednesday said U.S. allies will up their defense spending by about $12 billion this year after coming under pressure from President Trump to increase their military budgets, according to multiple reports. Secretary General, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it just Jens Stoltenberg? Jens? Hens? I don't know how to pronounce that. Slightly embarrassing. Said that Europe's NATO allies and Canada will jointly raise defense spending by 4.3% in 2017. He added that the countries have increased spending by nearly $46 billion over the last 3 years. NATO has really shifted gears. The spending trend is up, and we intend to keep it up, he told reporters at NATO headquarters. Trump has repeatedly criticized the amount NATO member countries spend on their militaries. NATO members agreed in 2014 to attempt to spend 2% of their nation's gross domestic product on funding defense. Okay, so some of this might have to do with the fact that NATO now feels like Russia is a bigger threat because of what happened in Crimea, so they increased the spending, the military spending. But some of it also might have to do, at least the recent moves in this direction, might have something to do with the fact that Trump was like, yeah, you need to pay more to the NATO countries. Here's why I agree with that. I'm sick of the U.S. doing so much military spending and just like over 50% of our discretionary budget goes to the military. And any way we can chip away at that or make somebody else pay more on that front, I'm going to be in favor of. So the downside of this is, of course, Trump is not cutting our military budget while NATO is upping theirs. He's increasing ours while they're increasing theirs. So ultimately, he's still wrong because he is increasing our military budget and he's being more militaristic. He's letting the neocons run everything. But I do agree that NATO should carry more of the burden for the shit that NATO is involved in. I don't like that, U.S. world policeman, we care about human rights and freedom and liberty, because we don't. That's why we're buddy-buddy with Saudi Arabia. That's why we're buddy-buddy with Israel. That's why we just did a weapons deal with Qatar and Bahrain. We don't care about human rights. That's why. So I don't want us to be the world police. I want to unravel the empire. And, having NATO pick up some of the slack in that respect is doing that a little bit. Now, again, ultimately, he's not doing that because our military spending is increasing. But, if I was president in my ideal situation, yes, NATO increases, we cut ours. And part of that is being done now. NATO's increasing theirs. So you got to be... I try my best to be as objective as possible when we cover all these stories. I gave Trump credit on TPP because he axed TPP. That's something I totally agree with. Everybody on the left should say, hey, man, we agree with that one. And I'll give him credit for this. Virtually everything else, though, horrendous and like every other establishment Republican would do, and even worse sometimes. Establishment Republican on steroids. But at least on this front, credit where credit is due. I do think NATO should up their spending, and we should kind of start to unravel that relationship a little bit, and overall start to decrease military spending. He's not doing the second part of that, which I wish he would do, but at least the first part is something that's getting done.